Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection, so we've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed if that is the case for you. Totally fine and totally normal. Again, just take what helps and leave what does not. All right, Virgo, let's jump on in here. On your side of this connection, you have stand your ground with the Seven of Wands in reverse. But before I dive into this, I actually want to talk about the overall energy, because that is new life. So here's what I find is interesting about this connection. I actually feel like this is very much in your past, and this is a connection that you kind of were dealing with before, but you've kind of moved on to a new life. Like, you are in a new place now since this connection took place. Now, here is the thing. I feel like this connection, for whatever reason, it had quite a bit of a hold on you in terms of, I feel like it was harder for you to set boundaries with this person than it typically was with people in your life. Like, I feel like for some reason this person really got to you and really affected you in a deep way, and maybe even still do. Like, even if you're moved on and even if this is a past connection, like, this person still has an effect over you. But you have kind of this, I don't necessarily want to say it's like a warning, but this advice from the universe talking about you standing your ground when it comes to this connection, because on their side, there will be a return with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this person is kind of dealing with, they're not in a stable place in their life with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And I feel like they return coming from this place of instability. So if there were issues that existed in this connection in the past, it's almost like none of that has changed, and they're just trying to kind of like return. I don't know if they need something. I don't know what this is. I don't like this energy though, because I don't feel like they're coming from a place of like, I don't even necessarily know if it's bad intentions, but I still feel like they're kind of coming from a bit of a selfish place here, but we'll see when we dive in. In between this connection, you have some people never change with the Four of Swords in reverse. Your soul is drained from this connection, has been drained, was drained, depending on when this took place. And I feel like there's definitely this need to kind of protect yourself. Now, maybe this new life isn't, you haven't fully stepped into this. Maybe you're still kind of, if this is like a recent past connection, you're still kind of holding on to this connection while trying to move forward. You haven't fully stepped into this new life. And I feel like the universe is saying, like, you want to make sure, because the only real apology is going to be changed behavior. If someone comes at you telling you how sorry they are and how much that they wish that they could have done things differently, but they act the exact same, then there isn't actually any change, right? I mean, sure, you can have regret and remorse about things that you've done, but if you just continue to do those things, then you're not actually growing. You're just going to kind of continue to do those things. So I don't know. I feel this is an interesting reading just overall with the energy. It already feels a little bit different from what I typically do, but let's just see. Let's just dive into the story here. All right, Virgo, your side of this connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. And I think that's what's important is, like, maybe you're like, why is this connection in my energy? I still feel as if the cycle between you and this person hasn't fully closed yet, and there's something you need to know to make sure that it does. Virgo side of this connection, stand your ground with the Seven of Wands in reverse. Virgo side of this connection. Oh, 10 of Cups. That's so crazy. That was the first card out for the, I just did the Capricorn reading. That's the first card out too. 10 of Cups with the 8 of Swords in reverse. I mean, ooh, and the 2 of Cups. I feel like you had, maybe even still have, so much love for this person. I mean, I feel at one point you very much saw them like as your 10 of Cups here, as your long-term kind of potential for fulfillment. And the amount of love that you had for them, it feels like that is what caused you. That's what I meant by they had this effect on you. Like maybe you didn't set boundaries like you typically would, or you allowed certain behavior from them that you wouldn't typically from other people because of how much you were drawn to this connection. And I feel that's why it's coming back up now, because if this person returns and those feelings resurface, you might fall back in old patterns. I feel like there's, I don't know if this is necessarily a warning or what. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just keep going. Virgo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Virgo side of the connection, the Emperor in reverse. This person had a history of disappointing you over and over and over again. And I feel like, yeah, because there's a cycle. It was like this cycle of this person's continuous disappointment. Like maybe it was their behavior, maybe it was their actions, maybe it was their, the way that their words like didn't match or align with their actions. I don't know, but this person had a tendency, had a pattern of disappointing you over and over and over again. And I feel like maybe eventually things kind of fell apart here. You walked away or they walked away. Something happened. But whatever was the source of this disappointment, I don't feel like that has changed, which is why you're needing to be very careful. The universe is very much saying like proceed with caution here. Now, another thing that this could be is this is talking about a past person and they're going to return, like the same cycle is going to return, but in the form of a different person. And you're going to need to recognize it and break it before it ends up hurting you like this one did. So it could return in the form of this person or a past person. Virgo side of this connection. Virgo side of the connection. Your inner child. Okay. Here you are, Queen of Pentacles. There's the Page of Wands, Knight of Wands in reverse, and there's the Six of Cups. See, here's the thing. How do I explain this? Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot to put into a message. We want to believe the best in people, right? We want to see the best in people, like just naturally. We want to believe that people are good people. I'm not saying you do, but I feel like that's kind of natural. And we have a tendency to see, especially people that we love, through the lens of, as I commonly mention on this channel, rose-colored glasses, which, seeing the good in someone isn't a bad thing by any means. It is not a bad thing to see the good in another person, especially somebody you love. Where it becomes a problem is when you focus so much on the good that you see that you ignore things or a situation for what it really is. So you see someone as being a good person and having the potential to be very good, but they treat you very poorly. But you see the good in them, and so you continue to invest because you have empathy and you understand them and you love them and you care about them and all of these things, that it's easy for you to justify their behavior. That's where rose-colored glasses become a bad thing. Now, our inner child, and why inner child healing? I promise this is all going to make sense, so bear with me. It's a lot to put into a message. into a message. Our inner child, and why inner child healing is so vitally important, is it's healing the parts of ourselves that weren't loved when we should have been loved. Whether that was by our parents, whether that was by caregivers, whether that was by other family members, whatever the case was. Inner child healing is so important because it's looking at ways, it's healing the ways you should have been loved when you weren't as a kid. Now, when we grow up and we become adults, whether or not we are consciously aware of it, we will seek out and repeat the dynamics of the experiences of our past where we weren't loved the way that we should. We will repeat those in our adult relationships. We will seek out people who remind us of our parents or of people who didn't love us like they should have. And that is where karmic cycles are created from. So here's what's happening in this connection. You have a very intense draw to this person, and I feel like you have since you met them. And that intense draw, and the reason why you allowed this connection to go, or to cross your boundaries, or to treat you the way that it did, or to why you stuck around for so long, is because it reminds you of a childhood dynamic where you didn't receive the love that you deserved, and you were looking for this person to heal that deeper wound, because they reminded you of that same dynamic. So, all of that to say, when this person comes into your life, it's really easy for you to justify their behavior. You love them, you care about them, right? It's easy for you to justify their behavior because you are being so directly pulled towards this karmic cycle that exists with this person. Now, that is where it might be talking about one person, or it might be talking about like a type that you have, that you kind of keep attracting into your life. And I feel like the purpose of this connection, or of this reading, is to help you not repeat the cycle. Okay, that was an aggressive message, but I feel like it was absolutely necessary to set the stage for the rest of this reading. So let's see. Let's see what this person is dealing with. There will be a return with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. This person's energy toward Virgo. So what the heck is going on with them? See, they feel a loss in this connection. But there's the Justice in reverse. No accountability. No accountability here. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Because their way they're approaching this, their priorities are imbalanced. It's not because they want to show up better than they have before. It's because they miss how things were. They miss the connection. But no accountability. It doesn't seem as if they have changed much at all. And I feel like that's what that Four of Pentacles in reverse is representing. Like, they are still in the same place. They haven't grown. They haven't evolved. Now, maybe materially in their life, like maybe things have changed for them, but like inside, the way that they handle things haven't changed. They haven't healed, right? So we can't really change or grow unless we've done the healing. And I feel like this Justice in reverse kind of tells me all I need to know. Like the lack of accountability for the ways that things went down. For the whatever behavior led to this Five of Cups, this disappointment. This person's energy toward Virgo. They weren't honest with you in the past. Ace of Cups in reverse with the Six of Cups. They weren't honest with you. What were they not honest with Virgo about? They weren't honest with you. What about? Like how they really felt, I feel like, is probably what it is. Clarifying the Ace of Cups in reverse. is this Temperance in reverse? I feel like I just tried to clarify and I got confused. Or maybe it's saying I need to be patient and that message will come out. I think that might be what it is. Okay, I tried to clarify. I got too ahead of myself. I think that's what it was. So this person wasn't fully honest with you in the past about how they really felt. And I feel like that's why, I don't know, I kind of feel like this person has a lot of, has regrets, but lacks accountability. Like they regret the way that they treated you, but they're probably not really going to change. I don't know. This person's energy toward Virgo. Like they wish things were different. For sure, but it's like they don't want to take accountability for the role that they played. No, okay, no, I do need to read the Temperance in reverse. What is this saying? Because to me, this is usually impatience, imbalance. Maybe they were really impatient with you, but that doesn't... You know what? I don't do this often, but sometimes I feel like I'm missing something. I'm going to look and see if there's like a word or definition here that I'm not gathering from this. So give me just a second. 14. Reversed. Competition, frustration, excess, and imbalance. So they're frustrated. They're frustrated with you. Why are they frustrated with you? Okay, now, well, I'm going to clarify this Temperance in reverse then. What is this Temperance in reverse saying? Why do they have a right to be frustrated with Virgo? Clarifying the Temperance in reverse. Oh, no. They're not frustrated with you. Okay. So here's the Four of Pentacles in reverse, right? Which is what I kind of said there. It's like their energy toward you. It's like this energy of being unstable, like being not in a good place in their life. And so they're frustrated with their own life. They're frustrated with where they're at. They're not where they want to be in life. And I feel like they look at this connection and they look at like what could have been if things would have been different. And that's why they feel the loss. They're like, oh, if things would have worked out with Virgo, if things would have been different, like things would probably be better in my life. But they're not looking at the role that they played in the fallout. So they miss you, they miss the connection, but they haven't done any like self-reflection or healing. I hope that makes sense. So they're frustrated with their own life and where they're at. And I feel like that's why it's so important and like kind of what the place that they're coming from is they're like, oh, I'm not in a good place in my life and my life would have been better if this connection would have worked out with Virgo. But yeah, no healing or self-reflection on, yeah, oh, that's so interesting. I don't like that. I don't like that energy. Only apology is changed behavior. So let's see, what does Virgo need to know about their side of this connection? And that's why you have to be careful, is because I feel like you have a lot of empathy and a lot of love for this person. And so I don't want to say you have a tendency to like feel bad for them or like, but I do feel like you have a tendency to like justify their behavior. That's the biggest thing. And the universe is saying you want to be careful with that, because this person hasn't changed. They're not going to be any capable of showing up in a different way than they've already shown you that they are. Virgo's side of this connection. Huh. See, then you're patient and understanding to a fault. And that's the hardest thing. Like, I don't know if you want to take care of this person or if you want to help them or if you want to be like their rock or whatever the case is. But it's like you're patient and understanding to a fault here. again, being patient and being understanding is not a bad thing. You know, being patient and understanding is a very good thing until it becomes a detriment to yourself. Until somebody else's instability and emotional unavailability and chaos becomes your own. Like when you take it on as your own. And I feel like that's what has a tendency to happen in this connection. So the universe wants you to be careful here, Virgo. All right, Virgo side of this connection. All right. You have a tendency to invest in potential. I feel like that's what happened in this connection is you were like, yeah, this person has disappointed me over and over again, but think about what it could be if they stopped doing that. Think about how good things could be if this person's just stopped disappointing you, right? But then they continue to show up in the way that they did, which continued to disappoint you and leave you feeling not so good. That's why this tower happened here. I feel like that's why this connection fell apart, is because you were investing in what this person could be. You were investing in what the connection could be, but ignoring it for what it was. And the universe is saying, you don't want to do that again. Not with this person, not with anybody else in your life. Because the one thing we can be absolutely sure of is that we can't change people. There is nothing that we can do to force people to change. We can't guilt them into changing. We can't shame them into changing. We can't love them into changing. We cannot do anything to make people change. All that we can do is let people show up as they are, and we decide whether or not that is good enough for us. And when I say good enough, I mean whether or not that aligns with what it is that you are truly deserving of. And when we do that, that's how we are able to separate the connections that we're trying to force because we think we need those people, or we think we need it to work, or the childhood dynamics are at play, or whatever the case is, from the people that are really meant to be in our life. I feel like this person had a really deep spiritual purpose in terms of maybe helping you kind of wake up or see things that you needed to see. I don't know. I feel like this person had a deep purpose in your life, which again brings me back to, I feel like you have a soft spot for them. I feel like there's a part of you that would let this person in a heartbeat, and the universe is saying, don't do that. Now you might be able to say, no, I wouldn't do that. But then you might feel very different when this person is in your life, or it may be taking form of another person, like the same kind of lesson or energy, but in the form of another person. All right, Virgo side of the connection. Could be dealing with a fire sign. But I also feel like this could be your energy. Because the King of Wands is someone who takes confident action. They're very certain of themselves. They're very sure of what they want, of what they deserve, and they act in that manner. And this is the energy that the universe is asking you to tap into when it comes to this connection. Or connections that are like this, because again, I feel like you struggle to stand your ground with this person, because you love and care about them, obviously. You have a lot of empathy for them, but the universe is saying, this is someone standing in their power. So the universe is wanting you to make sure that you are standing in your power when you're dealing with this connection, because I feel like this person has a way of getting to you, of affecting you, of maybe pulling you back in a little bit. And I don't think you want that to happen, because they haven't there's no growth here. There's no change. Now, you can obviously decide that for yourself, right? You can give them, if you want to, the chance to show up differently and see if they have grown. But you have to be sure that at the first sign of the same stuff, that you're ready to get out of there, so that you don't go through all of this pain and all of this hurt again. So let's get more. This person's energy toward Virgo. It's like they're frustrated with their own life and the chaos that exists in their life, that they're trying to pull you into it. That's what I don't like. I don't know if they might need something from you too, and it might be hard for you to say no to that, but I feel like that's another boundary that you'd need to set. Like, this person's burdens, like, I also feel like you need to know this person's going to be okay, you know, if you don't step in to kind of save them, fix them, whatever the case is. I'm not saying don't be kind, just make sure that you are setting firm boundaries and saying, I can't do this anymore. This person's energy toward Virgo. See, they're still coming from a place of ego. I mean, all their cards are upside down. The Sun in reverse with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, yeah, and then there's the Seven of Pentacles with the Three of Swords. Like, they're still coming from the exact same place. They're on the same energetic level. They're at the exact same place as when they broke your heart, as when they've hurt you here. So there's been zero change with this person. I feel like I've said that so many times throughout this reading, but the universe wants you to know that there's something so much better available for you. And if there's anything that I've learned as we grow and we evolve and we learn to choose ourselves, it's really, really hard to let go of people, friendships, romantic relationships, obviously, but anyone in our life who isn't willing to grow and change. It's really, really hard to do that because, again, we love and care about them. We want to see them happy. We want to see them healthy. We want to see them in a good place, but we cannot be the ones to do that for them. And you obviously kind of learn that because I feel like the more that you try, the more you ended up getting hurt. And the universe is saying, don't try again. You know, this person has to learn that they're going to have to change for themselves. And there's nothing that you can do to make them change. I mean, I don't feel like they're happy. I feel like they're frustrated with where they're at. Like I said, I feel like they look back and they think that their life could be better maybe if they were still in this connection or if this would have worked out. And you need to know that that's not, there's nothing like, how do I say this? It's like, I've met a lot of people, you know, being a spiritual teacher, I obviously struggle with the things that I talk about. And one of the things that I struggle with are people who create chaos in their own life and then become a victim to it. Like, you know, they create these problems, but then they're always complaining about these problems, but they never do anything to fix it. Those are actually, and there's a lot of reasons I know because of my past self, and I got my reasons, but I kind of feel like that's what this person is struggling with, is like, they kind of create this chaos in their life and then they become the victim. So they give you reason, you know, they disappoint you, they hurt you, gave you either reasons to walk away or they walked away from you. They created the chaos, they created the struggle, and then had to face kind of the outcome of that, and then all of a sudden they're the victim, right? So, I'm the one who lost the connection, or you're the one who walked away from me, and you're like, well, you cheated on me 18 times, you know? Not saying that that's what's happened, but just like, that's kind of what I mean. And I feel like you have to, again, let people have their own individual journey and understand that this person, obviously, they have a lot of healing and changing and growing up to do, but there's no guarantee that they're going to do that. And you can't keep putting yourself in the crossfire of their self-made chaos, because that is going to continue to tear you down and drain you and keep you from being able to live the life, this new life, that you are ultimately truly deserving of. This person's energy toward Virgo. I mean, I feel like in the end of this, I feel like they, Seven of Pentacles in reverse with the Death. The way that they invested, the way they showed up or didn't show up, like their effort or lack of effort is the reason why things ended here. Now, I am obviously, like I do in these readings, there's 3 sides to every story, but I feel like you showed up in the best way you know how here. I really do. Now, were you repeating dynamics? Childhood dynamics? Yeah. Is there a lesson to be learned? Yeah. You know, Everyone's got something to learn from every experience. But here's what I feel the problem lies, is it feels like it was their behavior that led to the fallout in this connection, but they almost don't even see that. That I feel like is the biggest thing. It's like they aren't even aware of it. And, you know, with this Ace of Cups in reverse, because there's this energy of this person not being, you know, totally honest with you, right? And maybe that's because maybe they're not being honest with you about, or weren't being honest with you about, like, where they are in their own life and how that is a driving force into why they want back in this connection. Because I feel like they do. And it's important that you, I mean, I don't want to say don't let him back in, because I want you to make the best decision that you need to make for your life, but just be careful. I really feel that there's a need for you to be careful when it comes to this person in particular, especially if you're dealing with like a family member or something like that, you know, when you feel this obligation to help them. I will always say give out love, you know, help people when you can, absolutely. But when you have a habit of like helping someone over and over again who has a problem, and that problem never alleviates itself, like they never work on themselves to change the root of the problem, then at some point you are literally just enabling that behavior, which is going to keep them from changing anyway. I don't know. It's been something I've struggled with in my life. It's like, yeah, you have this obligation, you want to help people, but then at one point does helping become enabling, and when does it become a detriment to you? That's basically what I'm trying to bring forward and make sure that you're thinking about when it comes to this connection. This person's energy toward Virgo. So, I don't know. I just feel like you have more of a sweet spot for this person. Soft spot in your heart, I think is a better way of saying that. That you don't like have it for other people. And it's just, it's easier, I know, it's easier to buy into what people want you to buy into when you want to buy into it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The Lovers in reverse with the Ace of Swords in reverse, I mean, yeah, I could have guessed this. I feel like they have feelings of being unlovable, unworthy, undeserving, and that's ultimately kind of the root of their behavior. You know, they don't feel good enough for love, so they sabotage it, kind of same old story. But again, that isn't your burden to bear. You can't take that on and love somebody into loving themselves. You cannot make somebody love someone. Can you give someone the space to learn how to love themselves? Can you love someone into, like, throughout their healing journey? Not into healing, but throughout their healing journey? Absolutely. In fact, a lot of my healing has actually happened in my healthy relationship. But I was already on a healing journey. I was already doing the healing and doing the work, and this connection created a safe space to allow me to do that. Same for my partner. He was already on a healing journey before we kind of got into this connection. And so the difference between that and being in a connection where you're trying to love someone who isn't doing the work are two very different things. So, and like I said, this person isn't taking accountability. I don't see that they're necessarily open to changing. I feel like they're at this place where they kind of are needing something from you, and so they're trying to, I don't know if they're needing support or stability or money even, I don't know. But just make sure that you're, just be careful. I don't know. Like I said, this felt like a different reading from the beginning than I usually do, and it still kind of feels just different than usual, but we're going to hop on over to the extended. You have Some People Never Change with the Four of Swords in reverse. I'm going to pull 9 different messages looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. I have been mentioning this at the end of every single reading I've been doing for the last couple of months, but I am hosting a How to Attract the Love That You Deserve and Desire workshop. This is going to take place on April 5th at 6 p.m. Central Time over Zoom, not on YouTube. It'll be over Zoom, and it's a live session, but if you can't make the live session, a recording of the session will be available the next day. You do have to purchase a ticket. Purchase would be required to both attend or to receive a recording. So if you're like, oh, I want to, and the ticket has to be purchased beforehand to receive the recording too. But if you can't attend, no big deal. You'll get the recording the next day. The only thing that you'd miss out on is I am doing a Q&A session at the very end of the workshop. Obviously, if you are not in attendance, you won't be there to ask questions, but you'll still receive the recording of the Q&A session. The information to purchase that ticket is at the top of the description box below. If you have any questions at all, feel free to shoot me an email. That is and always will be in the description box below as well, my email address. Otherwise, thank you so much, Virgo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Virgo.